What's up guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Paladins champions in a tier list format and just pretty much ranking them how much I think they are fun to play. All this is my personal, so what you think is considered fun to play may differ from mine. With that being said, I hope you enjoy. First up we have Androxus. He's a solid B. I like playing Androxus every once in a while. He's not my go-to flank champion. The other pick that I have that probably will be either A or S depending isn't available. I'll pick him. He's fun. He's simple but also very effective. Next is Ashe. I feel like she's also a B. Ashe is fun to play every once in a while. Your worst enemy is definitely going up against a con. But other than that, Ashe is fun. I really like her ult, and her kit flows pretty well. Not my favorite tank, I guess front line I should say. But she's still pretty fun. Atlas, I feel like Alice is A tier. I think Alice's kit is one of the most unique kits when it comes to frontline champions, especially the ability to send people back in time and how his quote-unquote shield works is very unique, and how you have to be very careful, especially with his ultimate, because if you shoot it on someone on the payload and you're trying to push it, you're just delaying the inevitable, pretty much. Alice, I think, is really fun, and it definitely takes a lot more time to like master him compared to most of the other frontlines, but he's still very fun. Next is Barrick, and he's gonna be the first S tier. I love Barrick. I can't really complain too much about Barrick at all. His kit just is fun. Very simple, nothing crazy, but he's just fun. And I definitely hope we get a new skin for him at some point, because I think it's been since, was it 2018 or somewhere 2018, 2019 is his last skin. It's kind of depressing. Bomb King, another S tier. Bomb King is one of the most fun damage champions, honestly. His kit just feels nice. It's satisfying whenever you get up to 3 of your sticky bombs onto like anything that's not a tank, and then boom, they're dead. It's just fun. You may think that sounds kind of toxic or whatever, but Bomb King's just fun. His kit feels really well, like the Poppy Bomb, able to launch up. Grumpy Bomb is fine, but his ultimate is really satisfying. Just charging it just to become a big bomb yourself. Very fun character, very fun. Buck is a C. I don't know how to describe Buck. He's just not my cup of tea, to be honest. I think his kit and whatnot is fine, but it's not like something I'm like, yeah, I gotta pick this character. But every once in a while I'll play Buck because I think I like more of his character more than his actual gameplay. Cassie, I feel like she's also a C tier. I used to actually really like playing Cassie, but nothing too much has changed with her over time that I can think of. It's just that I think there are more fun damage champions compared to her, but still, like I said with the previous ones, I definitely pick her up every once in a while. Corvus is a B. I feel like most of Corvus's kit is kind of unique, especially how his healing interacts with his mark, but I also think that all of his cards are talented with his marks is very interesting. Like the one, pretty much lifesteal, the damage you deal and the damage your marked ally does heals you and the ally. It's like you deal damage, you heal your ally, they deal damage, they heal you. I think like something like that is really unique. But he's not my favorite support, but he's definitely a very unique and fun support, I would say. Dredge is trying to figure out where I want to put Dredge. I feel like he's maybe an E tier, honestly. Dredge, I feel like, is just not that fun at the moment. There's a character that's a little bit later down the list that just is him, but way better and way more fun. I just don't like the whole spam with his kit. Most of the time, you'll just stay in one area, hold down your ult fire, and just pretty much make the enemy team not be able to go on the objective. It's just, he just doesn't have that much interaction with this kit, which I think is very boring. Drogo's E is probably a D tier. It's probably just because I'm not the biggest a fan when it comes to like characters flying with rockets. I'm not like a big fan when it comes to playing like Pharah and Overwatch 2. So he's just not really my cup of tea. I mean, there's a lot more like skill, I would say, that expresses when it comes to playing Drogos, but honestly, it's just not that fun for me. Eevee, she's a C tier. She's definitely the definition when it comes to a glass cannon character. Think she still has. I know she got a buff a little bit ago or recently. Honestly, I don't remember. that give her increased base health. I think she still is the lowest health champion in the game, but she can still deal a lot of damage, but also have a good amount of safety. It definitely takes a lot of skill expression to play Eevee, but not my favorite cup of tea because there's like a lot of like moving around you can do with her and be able to make sure you have your abilities up and not on cooldown, because if your abilities are on cooldown with any of her safeties, you are dead, especially if you get like stunned or whatever, you're just dead. Fernando, he's a B. Nothing to say too much about his kit. He has a weapon that I wish we kind of have in Overwatch too, and that being the flamethrower character. But I think Fernando's pretty cool. He's just the guy with the big shield, but also his ultimate's very useful to keep you and your team alive. Nothing to really complain too much, just not my favorite thing. Fira is either A or S tier. Let me think. I feel like actually Fury is more S tier, honestly, for me. She just has a lot more fun flowing with her kit, especially how fun it is that you are rewarded when it comes to healing by getting attack speed, and I think that's very fun. Also, her kit just flows pretty decently well, especially like her ultimate. It's pretty much just a good way to start a team fight. Like, there's nothing else to be said too much about Furia. Just a very fun character, especially if you're playing way more aggressive with her. She's just really fun to play. Grok. I think Grok is a solid B. He can definitely be fun. I would say, though, I feel like he's more fun going more damaging than support with his one talent with the shock pulse. I forget its name. I'll probably display it. But that talent's really fun to run with Grok. But yeah, he's just a decent support. He's not that like very fun for me, but like he's pretty good, I would say. Alright, for Grover, he's joining the S tier. One of the very few characters I picked up and I just pretty much mained. I think he's the first champion. I honestly can't remember. But yeah, he's just a very fun character. Nothing crazy to say. I mean, he has an AoE heal, he has a nice slow or cripple depending on the talent you go for. His ultimate's also pretty good, I would say. I mean, late game it's a little bit iffy, but it's still pretty good. Nothing super crazy, but he's definitely a very, very fun support for me. Imani, that's another S. Imani is a very fun, unique Imani's a very fun, unique damage champion, especially with her stand swapping. It's really fun, especially if you have like in your build Imani's cooldowns with Inferno Cannon and Frost Bomb is lower depending on which like weapon you're using. That's really fun. She's just a very fun, honestly, just damage champion. And her ultimate's so cool. She summons a dragon. I mean, what more can you say other than I wish Paladins had more of a dragon champion. Inara, I used to play her a lot, especially when it came to competitive. I feel like she's a solid B for me. Her kit is definitely kind of fun to play, but it's not like the most fun front line compared, to be honest. But she's definitely a wall for sure. She is definitely hard to kill. But yeah, she's like a solid B. She's definitely not the most fun front line to play. Io's a solid she's like a solid C tier for me. She just doesn't feel like she has too much interactiveness with her kit, honestly, for me. I actually kind of like that you can place Luna on a payload or an objective and it can contest it, but since they removed that, it's kind of iffy to even use Luna, just other for the stun whenever you're hitting. Io just feels kind of to me, really. Genos, he's a solid A tier. He's actually, I think, like, the highest level champion I have. Although, he's, like, not super interactive. You could definitely find a lot of, like, Genos players further away from their team since how kind of far away you can heal them. But it's also definitely fun to get more than one kill whenever you hit someone with his ultimate. It's definitely very fun to use. Khan, he's an S tier for me. Khan's just pretty fun to play. I think he was the last champion, if I'm right, that was either released before or after the beta ended for Paladins, I think. God, it's weird to say that because that was a little while ago. But he definitely is very fun, especially when he ults. Just pick someone out and just throw them across the map is fun. And yeah, definitely also sometimes as a meme build I have, I think I mentioned in my last Paladins video, is that it's fun to just play quote-unquote support Khan. I say that quote-unquote. But yeah, he's just a fun character for me. Kanessa, she's probably D tier. Kanessa just falls in the category I just don't like, and that's just snipers. I just don't think snipers are really fun to play. The rest of our kit's fine. It's just I don't like playing snipers in FPSs. Koga, he's a C tier. Koga definitely has a lot of like more interactiveness with his kit, especially if you think as adrenaline junkie is what the talent is that increases your meter or whatever while you're in dragon stance. I think Koga's definitely fun. He has a lot more going on with his kit with his stance swapping, but he's just not super fun for me. Lex, he's also I would say a C tier. Actually, I might put him in B, honestly. I think Lex can be fun. His ultimate is definitely very satisfying if you get more than one kill with it. His ability to get more credits depending on who you kill that is marked is pretty unique. I think Lex is kind of fun at times, but not my go-to flank. Leon, she's probably a C. She's one of the very few champions in the game that don't really have any form of CC, I don't think. Don't think any of her kit has any CC. She's just pure damage and whatnot. You know what? Actually, I'm actually gonna put her in B tier because now I'm thinking about it, it's kind of fun to try to get combos off with your abilities, especially if you have like certain builds that lower the cooldown of one ability if you use it for whenever you use it or whatever. That is fun. Her ultimate is also satisfying to get the execute and get that ult charge back. She's a bit more fun to play compared to some of the other damage. Maeve, she's a C tier for me. She's definitely not my playstyle at all. I try my best to play her. I don't think I even have her past level 10 if I'm right, honestly. I could be wrong. I just don't like playing Maeve that much. I only will play her if there was like challenges required to play as her, but other than that, I don't really play this champion that much. Mokoa, actually wait, you know what, I'm gonna put Mokoa in S tier, but I have an idea. Yes. Perfect. Mokoa is a old champion that has aged like fine wine, honestly. There's never a time whenever I pick up Mokoa that it's a bad time. There's just a lot about Mokoa's kit that's pretty satisfying. With his hook, his dash is also pretty nice. He has a nice little shield, and especially if you go for the shield talent that makes it where you just place it down. But what makes Mokoa is its ultimate. Mokoa's ultimate is just really fun to use, honestly. It just pretty much becomes Dead by Daylight almost whenever you use this ultimate, because now the enemy team has to survive the new killer. But yeah, Mokoa's just a really fun champion. While he probably isn't actually my personal favorite frontline, he is just fun. He's definitely the most fun frontline in my opinion. Maldamba's an A tier. Maldamba, I think, is just really fun. I mean, it definitely takes a bit more skill expression compared to other supports for Maldamba, but it's not super high where it's very hard to pick him up. He just takes some time getting used to with his weapon, how his reload works, especially resourcing, how he can use his 2 different healing. And also his ultimate's pretty cool with the whole Cobra and whatnot. And I think that's what I really like about Maldamba. Just also the aesthetic with the Cobra, I think it's really cool. Maldamba's a really cool character and just a fun champion. Moji's a B for me. She's definitely more simple, but somewhat a little bit skill expressive, just to know when to use to use her ult fire, I think, with how her stacking works. But one thing I think is kind of unique is that Moji's definitely more of a support kind of like flank, because she has a lot more stuff that heals her and her allies, which I think is pretty unique, honestly. Maybe Paladins ever decides to do a Kasumi kind of ordeal, changing a champion's whole role identity. Moji's support would be interesting. Pip, he's probably a C. He's my least favorite support to play, honestly. I don't know, he's just kind of with me. I mean, I don't think he's bad at any means. He's just not that fun. I mean, the only thing I think is fun with Pip is his ultimate, where he turns like all the enemies to like chickens or whatever skin you have on him, like whatever creature. I think that's pretty cool, but like Pip was just kind of eh. Rom is a good old A tier. Just a fun champion to play. If you just want to go guns and blazing as a front line, Rom is for you. Nothing too crazy about his kit to say. I mean, his ult is definitely very fun to use, especially if you just want to destroy all the shields the enemy team has. But I also think how he gets like extra health or whatever with Soul Harvest is pretty cool. Pretty cool looking champion. Definitely very unique when it comes to the rest of the cast, since we don't really have like a demon looking character. I think Rom is pretty cool. Ruckus is solid B. I feel like I put Ruckus like lowered on the list, but I think ever since they like changed one of his talents that give him like CC immunity, it's a lot more fun to play Ruckus since he just didn't have that good survivability, if I'll be honest. Well, kinda did. Depends on what talent you went, but like I think the whole make him CC immune with his shield up is very cool, especially with a character that really doesn't have any form of CC. And you know, not all characters who don't have CC are like considered bad characters, but I feel like definitely a character that should have a decent amount of CC should usually be the front line, since they're definitely gonna be the ones up in front. And they're just going to be just shooting the other front line, just doing whatever they can to stop them from doing whatever. And Ruckus kind of lacked any of that. He just had damage, and it wasn't the craziest amount of damage, but I'm liking Ruckus a bit more. Ceres, she's also a B tier. Ceres' kit is definitely kind of fun, a little bit interactive. Like I said many times, not my cup of tea. I do think like Soul Red has a stun now with her kit is pretty cool, I think. Her ultimate's kind of fun. I mean, it's a big old gravity pull kind of ordeal. It's definitely kind of fun to use. The rest of her kit is just kind of... Xiaolin is a C. Somewhat least favorite champions, or at least when it comes to damage champions to play. But he's not lower on the ranking because I don't think he's unfun by any means. I'm just not a personal fan when it comes to bow characters. They can be fun, but she's just kind of eh. Sky, she's also a B tier. Nothing super unique about her. She's one of the very few champions, especially when it comes to flanks, that kind of lack a movement ability. I think she's, though, the fastest character when it comes to movement speed, I'm pretty sure. If you're not like including any like speed boosts like effects with cards or other champions, just base movement speed, I'm pretty sure she's the fastest, which definitely helps her a lot since she has no really movement at all. But yeah, the only thing really I think is fun with Sky is her ultimate, and that is just a big boom bomb, pretty much. Strix, he's gonna be joining the D tier with Canessa. Pretty much same thing. Strix is just not that fun for me. I'm just not a big fan of snipers. His design, though, I think is pretty cool, but other than that, he's just kind of eh. Alright, Talus, he's a C tier. I think Talus is kind of fun to play every once in a while. There's his ability that's the Rumen that you teleport back. That's pretty fun. His ultimate is definitely very unique, but it's only really useful if you have your Ruin active, because like if you don't, you're just diving in there without any safety and you could just get easily shut down. Talus is not bad, but not my favorite. Terminus, I think he's a solid A. Terminus is the only melee champion in the game, and I wish we had more of those. Well, I guess almost only melee champion, but we'll get to that character in a moment. But nothing really about Terminus I think is really bad, but he's definitely not S tier. I like how his charge works or whatnot, where you put up your little kind of personal shield, you absorb damage, and you gain some charge to shoot for an alternate fire. I like his little leap with the slam at the end. And his ultimate is very unique take on the revival mechanic, since like the support characters or whatnot. But for him to be able to revive himself, but also deal a decent amount of damage with it, is pretty cool. Tiberius, he's an A tier. I like playing Tiberius every once in a while. I like his kit. Very fun, especially with how his one talent that allows you to just throw your heavy blade and then it becomes an explosion. I think that's my personal favorite talent. But yeah, I like the attack speed. His ultimate is very fun to use with the two different attacks you have with it, and you can like do some little combos and whatnot. I think that's really cool. Torvald, he's probably an A tier for me. He's definitely one of the more support-ish, I would say, when it comes to tanks. Mainly that you want to focus on bubbling your support or whatever, giving them protections, or just whoever is in front of you. Especially with his two talents, like either give extra shielding or damage boost whenever you bubble someone. But the role is just really fun, honestly. Tyra, she's probably a B tier for me. Definitely the more fun when it comes to like just I have a gun and shoot. I think she's a pretty decently fun champion. Don't pick her up too much, but I pick her up every once in a while. Victor, he's basic but fun. Nothing really to say. He's just your standard like soldier character, pretty much. They just pretty much have like some kind of rifle, grenade, and sprint. That's just pretty much Victor. Vivian, she's C. Nah, Vivian's D tier. Vivian's just not fun. Just both left and right mouse click and every once in a while press your other abilities. aka I'm pretty sure your shield, whatever button that is. But you also, once you get your ultimate, you press that button. She just doesn't have much interactiveness with her kid, and she's just so boring, honestly. Actually, you know what, I would bump her with Dredge. Now I'm thinking about it. At least these three, they have a bit more interactiveness with their kid and what they can do. Vivi doesn't have that much. Willow, she's a C tier. Well, I think she does have some very kind of like fun or somewhat unique abilities. I just think overall, she's not super fun for me to play. She has the whole anti-heal cloud, which is unique, and she's definitely the whole area damage character, which is pretty cool. But other than that, she's just not super more fun to play. If I want to play anyone that does area damage, I'm going for my BK. Ying, she's a B tier. She's just kind of for me to play. She's not my favorite support. I mean, I feel like I'm repeating the same points every once in a while, but not that much to say other than I think she's fine. I haven't really played her too much since the whole change with her ultimate, I believe, or with her I don't know if it was ultimate or talent change. I gotta reread the patch notes. But just an okay kind of support for me. Zen. I think Zen is an A tier because he can be definitely very fun for me to play. Not my favorite flank. Vora is S tier. She, in my opinion, is the most fun designed flank out there. I love how her passive interacts with her abilities, with the healing and whatnot. Like the little grapple she has. Ultimate's pretty cool, although I feel like it's janky at sometimes. But she just flows so well with her kid and whatnot. A very well designed champion in my opinion. Yagoroth, I feel like she's an A tier for me. Maybe just because it's really cool. We actually have more of like a monster kind of champion and paladin. Some of that we should kind of more have rather than just something that's humanoid pretty much. Kit-wise, she's kind of fun to play a bit. I mean, I know that she definitely caused a huge issue whenever she was first released, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Her kit, I think, is fun. Her ultimate, I think, is cool. It's kind of like Vora's. Feels a little janky at times, especially getting in range with the execute, but also being able to pull off the execute because there's a certain distance how far and how close you can use it. And if the enemy team just deletes your health while you're trying to eat them, you just don't get to do the ultimate. Yagoroth is fun, but not my favorite frontline. Octavia, she's an A tier. She has a lot more uniqueness when it comes to her passive specifically. How you can just give you and your allies a buff depending on the team composition. Like if they have more heavily cooldowns, you can reduce the cooldowns for them. If they are more heavily useful for their ultimate, you can get their ults, or you can give them more credits, or even give them a shield, which I don't see that one being used too much, unless it's probably like Team Deathmatch, I can see that. But overall, Octavia is pretty fun. Her base kit is like not super crazy. I mean, I do like how whenever you leave and you zoom in with your sights, you like stay up there for a while. That's pretty cool. The distortion feels kind of very, for how it works, for you can't fully see what's in there unless you go in there. That's kind of unique. Vatu, he's a B tier. I think Vatu is pretty cool. I wouldn't say he's nothing crazy because there's quite a bit that comes into Vatu's kit with his dashes, with his kunais, and because that's definitely very unique how Vatu's weapon works. It kind of like splits out into a cone, which I think is cool. In order to maximize the damage from them, you have to be a lot more up close. But I think Vatu's pretty cool, but not my favorite flank of all time. Right? She probably is joining B tier. I think overall she has a pretty decently unique kit with how her bouncing works, her link works with either an ally or enemy. And Ultimate's kind of nice with the whole just healing up your ally with HP. That's pretty cool. Saudi, I feel like she's showing a B tier. I feel like I wanted to like her a lot more with her kit. She does have quite a bit of interactiveness with it, and I think that's pretty cool. Like the coin flip, I think that's pretty neat with how you just shoot it and then it just deals damage to like close enemies nearby or whatever. I think that's pretty cool. Her ultimate's kind of unique with how you're just shooting up to 3 shots, dealing quite a bit of damage across the map. But overall, pretty decent champion. Azan, I feel like he's C tier. Honestly, he may have been quite a bit of menace whenever he was released. I just find his kit to be just not that fun. Like, there's a lot of stuff do with his on, especially like the dash into like a wall or whatever with a stun, how he has unique attack chain. His ultimate's pretty cool, but like it just doesn't feel fun to use really. Quite a bit of going on with him. He's just not that fun to use for me. 7. I put him in B. I do like how he's like different weapon modes or whatever with his one ability. I think that's pretty fun, especially if you go for his one talent that gives you like extra effects whenever you shoot someone depending on what kind of mode you are. I think that's fun. His grapple is just a grapple, nothing too crazy other than if you attach yourself to a wall you become invisible on the wall, which is cool, but nothing super crazy for me. As a neat dash that you leave behind a bomb that deals damage. His ultimate, it just feels kind of just for me for him, because like it's in a way Maldama's ultimate, but not. I don't know. I think the whole fear lock-on thing is just kind of Well, here's the character that's just Dredge, but better, and I'm gonna put her in B for Betty. But yeah, Betty Lambamba, she's just a way more fun to interact with Dredge. She definitely is just big boom area damage, but a lot more fun to use. Her ultimate's really fun, especially going on top of the giant bomb and just riding on with it. That's pretty fun. But yeah, Betty's a pretty fun, but not my favorite damage champion. Lilith. I feel like she's going to be joining C tier. I feel like mechanical-wise, Lilith is pretty unique, having like a different health pool that she uses to heal her allies and whatnot. I think that's cool. Her base kit just feels kind of to me, honestly. I feel like she gets most uniqueness when it comes to her talents, like the one that she turns her one swarm into herself, like she heals allies that are near her. That's kind of unique. But like overall, I feel like Lilith is just kind of Caspian, C for Caspian. He's just not that interesting for me. I don't know. He has a bit going with how his stacking works with his 2 primary fires or primary secondary fire. I think that's kind of unique. His like movement is kind of okay, and then they did remove his one ability that was a stun, but now is a slow. I don't know, maybe Caspian was an issue. I just don't think it's just that fun to play. Kasumi is a D tier. I wanted to like Kasumi because she looks really cool as a character, but in practice, she's just not that fun to play. For me, her stacking sometimes feels weird. And maybe this could be also how her weapon works. It's not like a traditional like gun or whatever. It just feels weird. Her ultimate, I think, is unique, but not unique enough to bring her higher up. I just think she's okay. Nyx, she's a B tier. I think she has a bit going on with her kit that is definitely more unique. I specifically like how her ultimate works, where pulling enemies and then you slam down and doing a stun. I think that's pretty cool. But overall, she's just kind of not super fun for me to play, but she can be fun at times. Omen, probably joining B tier. I feel like overall, Omen's kit is just kind of boring. However, if you ever decide to go pretty much shotgun mode with Omen, that is fun. That right there is really fun with one of his cards lowering your ammo capacity just to deal more damage is really fun. But yeah, this is my tier list and whatnot. But that's gonna wrap today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. So hit that like button if you're new to the channel. Hitting that subscribe button that we appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments what's your favorite champion to play in the game. But also maybe leave what's your least favorite champion to play in Paladins. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below. But with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.